Oh, good. Oh! Well, maybe he's going to come out in them vans, them Serco vans.
I'd just like to say, oh, Tommy! Robbie Roy,
So come, give me a quick update.
my little paper.
So what's happened so far?
So, the prosecution completely failed with all the witnesses. They all messed up. At some point towards the end, we were thinking that they were going to pull the case themselves.
So there's Tommy now. No, it's not.
No. But the judge decided that he had enough, and he's going to be making a decision tomorrow morning. He's just going to announce no more witnesses. They're going to continue, but by giving a verdict. And but it seems like the prosecution did quite badly with every single witness. And we were a little bit surprised that they continued, because they were supposed to pull the case themselves. But I think someone from the government told them to keep going, and that's why we're going to have to wait till 10:30 a.m. tomorrow.
We've got to wait till 10:30. They're doing that because they know I can't be here.
No, they mentioned because they don't want him to go to St. George's Day. They want to ensure that his bail condition stays the same, so that he can't stay in London tonight or tomorrow.
So he's got to leave. Yeah, I get it.
They kick him out.
There's no evidence in that court today. None.
So if there is no evidence being presented in the court today, what the hell has the Crown prosecution been doing when they said there was sufficient evidence for reasonable prospects?
So the Crown Prosecution Service asked for a slight intermission. They walked out, and they were saying, look, we've got no evidence here. And when he came back, he says we've got to push on. He said we've got to push on. So they're presenting nothing. It's a nothing burger.
So why do you believe the CPS has to push on? Is that because there's a possibility that a precedent could be set by the outcome today?
Absolutely, and don't forget, us journalists, that's what they're aiming for, because if they don't convict him now, then they're after us.
I hear you, but I'm waiting for Tommy to come downstairs now. So tell us about what you are aware could be happening in London tomorrow, because it's St. George. Forget Tommy, it's St. George's Day tomorrow. So what could be happening tomorrow?
We don't know. We're from Voice of Wales.
What I do notice is a severe lack of the mainstream media. The mainstream media who went in court, and the inspector and sergeant were throwing himself under the bus, closed their books, closed their laptops, put their pens down. They refused to report that part. But it's interesting seeing everybody here who are citizen journalists, and they are the ones who tend to care about what's going on. Because remember, what restrictions he's going to try and put on him here is going to affect every single person here who does class himself as a citizen journalist. So this is going to set a good precedent in law for all citizen journalists, I'd say. Would you?
Absolutely correct. Absolutely.
What is currently happening? Because I was assuming Tommy would be coming down with you. So is he having a private discussion with his?
Yeah. He's meeting now with his KC and his assistant. So everyone in there was expecting a verdict now. They went out, they came back, gave closing arguments, and they was expecting a verdict. The judge even said himself that the evidence that the CPS have given is not credible. You can't look at it. So when the judge then says, I'm going to have to think about this and go away and come back tomorrow, it's a little bit disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd have thought that he'd have thrown it under the bus. There was nothing there. Like I say, it was a nothing burger.
Yeah. Isn't today a great demonstration of how brilliant the criminal justice system of this great country really is, because Tommy has had his day in court?
Yeah. Do you know what, right? I said it upstairs. If every single arrest that was made was scrutinised and the policies that the police used was put under a microscope, there'd be a very few amount of arrests that have been made that are lawful. Going by what we've heard in there, by senior people, trainers, inspectors, who do not know simple policy, Home Office policy, College of Policing policy, and they're giving instructions to people and they don't even know the policies. They're not following the policies.
Isn't that good?
Well, you know, whether you could just bung someone in court and in prison for, you know, just on the say-so of the Met Police, then no, it's absolutely not good.
And I have to say, don't forget, there's only 2 people in this country that have never gone before a jury: Julian Assange and this fella. And it's absolutely scandalous that that should take place in what you say is a great democracy. This is not a democracy.
And why do you think Julian and also, you know, Tommy has never been before a jury? Is it that a jury is more likely to find someone like Julian and also Tommy not guilty?
You yourself have been around Tommy a lot, and you've seen the reception he gets, and everyone here has seen the reception he gets wherever he goes. That is why Tommy won't get a jury, because that's the reception he'll get. You know, a judge, you've got to remember, these circuits, the court system, it's all set up and rigged. You know, like you've got the barristers who want to be a judge, so they're not going to pee off the judge because he's going to nominate them to be a judge. So they all got their nose so far up each other's backside that they do not care what happens to the people who are just being dragged through this system and having their lives absolutely ruined. Whereas a jury would look at this and say, it'd open their eyes. It'd say, well, hang, this goes on in court? You know, that would open their eyes, wouldn't it? I think.
Absolutely correct, yeah. The playing to the, you know, the playing, the elite, all of this is just corrupt, the lot of it.
So he's just about to exit the court now.
I think Tommy's just about to exit the court.
So let's hear what has transpired.
There we go.
Victoria Bird, Sky News reporter, you left your bottle here. If you want, I'm happy to meet you and give you it.
So Tommy,
Louder.
so Tommy, Wendell Denilton Street Mike, what has transpired this afternoon?
It transpired that just before, after hearing all the evidence, their own prosecutor asked for a break so he could review the Crown's position. What he means is he heard that the police officers have falsified evidence. At the moment of giving me the dispersal order, they didn't even have a signed dispersal order. The time on the dispersal order was 2 o'clock, they arrested me at 1 o'clock, they then went in later at 4 o'clock and changed the times. Yeah? So there was no lawful order to disperse me. The officer who sanctioned and authorised the order didn't have authorisation to do it in that area. I wasn't in the zone to get dispersed from. Every single thing they done unlawfully and illegally. Yeah? They're meant to take into account my rights as a journalist. They took no account. The officer's words were, "So what?" Yeah? When I mentioned it, they are meant to give you legal time to leave. From the time of me apparently receiving the order, which they didn't even read out properly, they're meant to say that you have a right to challenge the order if you believe you have a reason why you shouldn't have to leave. Yeah? He didn't say that at all, he just left that totally out because they knew I was trying to put across my right. I'm a journalist, I'm at work. They're not allowed to legally give an order to someone who's a journalist and at work. Yeah? So they failed on 5 or 6 legal points today, but so we've asked the case to be dismissed. At 10:30 in the morning, the judge will make the decision if there's even evidence. Yeah. So if he says there is evidence and there was a lawful order, then we continue with the trial where I give evidence, where my witness gives evidence, where we show, which we proved today. At no point, every police officer, you heard the officer in his evidence said, one of them said, well, I lost my body cam footage. The other officer said, oh, mine was deleted over. The reason why they don't want the body cam footage is because then you have the audio of what they were saying and what I was saying, yeah? All I was saying is my colleague, I need my colleague, my car keys, which again is a reasonable excuse for me not to leave, which I didn't even say I wasn't leaving. What I kept saying is, I need my colleague, yeah? He needs to come with me. If you're going to escort me out of here, my car's over there, he's got my car keys, how can I leave? You can't just walk me down the road, my car's there. So all of this has been deleted, there is no footage, which again, I think the Met Police have just exposed themselves as corrupt, as liars, as believing they are above the law themselves. The actions, we've all seen two-tier policing, it's been a total embarrassment and humiliation to the whole country. Everyone now knows the things that I spoke about 13 years ago. When I first started my activism, I spoke about two-tier policing. When I first wrote the leaflet, dated 2004, I talked about how whites and blacks are being racially and religiously targeted in Luton Town by Islamic gangs and the police do nothing. How we, when I say we, whites and blacks get treated with iron fists, yeah, by the police. a certain community is given exemptions. What we've seen with the protests is everyone in the country has witnessed those exemptions that are given. They've witnessed the way that they're policed in comparison to other communities are policed. So the whole country now knows what I saw. I saw it because I'm from the town of Luton. I've seen the police pander to them, as we've seen the Metropolitan Police pander to them. These problems, the reason why grooming gangs were allowed to happen is because the police were scared of them. It's not just grooming gangs they let happen, they literally let every crime go along. 55,000 girls, female genitally mutilated with not one single prosecution in this country. That crime carries 14 years in prison. No one was prosecuted. There are exemptions across the board because we have a police force which is intimidated by an Islamic extremist community. That's what we're seeing. So that I've gone off on one there, but I'm in court. I think tomorrow I should have my name cleared. I want to say a thank you to every single person who supported me. Whenever I walk in there, even if I go to jail, I know I'm not alone. I know there's an army of people supporting me. Everywhere I walk in the street, people shake my hand. I don't get grief anymore. I used to get a lot of grief. I used to get a lot of abuse. It doesn't happen anymore. I think there's been a mass awakening in the last 12 months, certainly since October the 7th, in this country and across the Western world. So I just want to say thank you, because my QC, which is Alistair Williamson, was unbelievable. Yeah, anyone who sat in there saw how good he was. Tana, who is my solicitor from Carson K, they've been brilliant throughout this. But I never would have had the opportunity to have that legal team if it wasn't for you supporting my case. I hope I get justice tomorrow. I hope I get a win, and I hope you get a win, because you've supported me for so long. So I hope really we do get justice and we can celebrate it on St George's Day. Could there ever be? Do you know when I was sitting, when they were doing the dates and they were mentioning through the dates, I text my solicitor saying 23rd of April, yeah? I text my solicitor, she looked at me and then she said, oh, can we, and she went 22nd, 23rd, and then they agreed it. And I text her saying, you just got my trial on St George's Day. the verdict is going to be on St George's Day. She just looked up, I was laughing, but the judge ain't got a clue what the 23rd of April is. None of them have got a clue what it is. But it's our national day. It's our national day to celebrate our identity, celebrate who we are, without any shame either, to celebrate it and be proud of it. So yeah, thank you again, man, because I actually had a very entertaining day there. I just watched police officer after police officer get tied in knots for their lies, their corruption. How can anyone who's watched the video and then listened to what the police officer's statements say, it's like swinging my arms violently, acting aggressively. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you on about? The video shows I didn't. It's not like you can lie, there's videos. Absolute embarrassment. But yeah, resign, Mark Rowley. The whole country wants you to resign. You're incompetent. Knife crime, gun crime, robberies, violence, rapes. Every single thing's gone up under your watch and Sadiq Khan's watch. You have embarrassed and humiliated this entire country. And if you ever want to, if the government wants to restore the faith in policing, do you know it's a dangerous road we're going down? You know when the people lose faith in the police, you're going to have a lot of trouble on the streets, yeah? And that's where you're headed. You're bringing it there. So you need to resign and restore some faith. You need to resign anyway, because it's absolutely embarrassing the way you've treated these demonstrations for 6 months. You've allowed Islamic radicals to take over our capital city week in, week out, and you've come down on their side against law-abiding citizens. I was a law-abiding citizen on the 26th of November. I was there to do my job. You sent your boot boys in to violently attack me, and tomorrow we get the verdict which proves it to the world. So thanks everyone for... Big up. Thank you for coming. What did you think of the Sky journalist?
As a journalist, you'd know that. Ask him what it is.
Oh, look at this is Sky News.
Do you know what? I appreciated her honesty. Canadian journalists are far more passive aggressive when they're biased.
Yeah.
She came right out and said, you know, you're not a journalist, I am a journalist, but she didn't actually know why she was even here.
No, she didn't.
She just knew you were a bad guy.
Yeah, she hadn't even seen the video. So she's here to give she would come out of here, give her summary, which is already written down and wrote for her before she comes, of what she's going to say. Far right extremists, convicted criminals, Stephen Yaxley Lennon, all wrote out for her already, hasn't seen the video, doesn't know what I'm in court for.
Right. But
embarrassing.
She's a journalist because she has a stupid little press card. As though
25 years.
As though journalism is a guild that you join and not a thing that you do every single day. We're surrounded by independent journalists.
Do you know what's great is that everyone who's anyone in independent journalism is here today. So thank you everyone.
Yeah, it's great to see.
Yeah, it's good to see. We are the media.
Yeah. We are. The new media.
And do you know her Sky News interview? It's on nearly 400,000. The one with me and her on Sky, which they're not even going to put it out now because she got humiliated, it'd probably get like a couple 100,000. So we are the media. So if you're watching this, what was her name? You get up.
I don't know. So insignificant. Everybody knows your name, but nobody knows her name. Right?
What is her name? Let me get it up.
All I know is her Twitter's locked
Anyway,
down.
yeah, she's locked down her Twitter. You're meant to be a journalist. Couldn't answer any questions. Forgot your bottle of water in the process of legging it out of court. Literally, the minute she realised we'd had her name and I put the video up, I saw the video pick up and I watched her. She went, and then boom, legged it. Forgot your ball. Tell Jason Farrell I've already humiliated him once. I'm going to do it again.
So, Tommy, I want to ask you. Police officers were, I mean, the insinuation is that they were fabricating evidence today against you, and then chalking it up to a disability. That's a new one, even for me to hear.
They admitted it. He actually stood in court and admitted that because what it was, the order that they had from the 25th to disperse people, and the order on the 26th was from 2 p.m. Yeah, and then when they arrested me, they obviously realised we've arrested him at 1 o'clock. The order doesn't come in till 2 o'clock. So he says he then went in later and edited it and changed it till 10 in the morning. It's like, no, mate, you didn't have a lawful order. You didn't have a lawful order. You decided to edit and falsify evidence, which you've admitted. He admitted that he hadn't read the Home Office guidance, but in his statement, he quoted the Home Office guidance. So when asked, well, if you haven't read it, where'd you get it from? He said, well, and the senior officer had copied and pasted it into my statement. It's like, are you fucking for real? This bloke he's a senior ranking police officer. No wonder there's so much of a mess in our country, and especially with criminality and crime. If that gentleman there is a senior officer in charge, I wouldn't leave him in charge of my pet, let alone in charge of a group of police officers.
I did appreciate his honesty after the fact, though, because he said, well, I'm not even sure if the order I drafted is valid.
Yeah, no, they asked him, well, can we be confident that there was a lawful order? He said no.
No.
He said no. And then he said, what was his word? Operational learning. That's
Operational learning.
Yeah. Operational learning. No, it's not. If you're that police officer, it's not operational learning. You nicked me in front of everyone. You pepper sprayed me from point blank range. You arrested me in front of my kids on my daughter's birthday. You've took away my rights for 6 months. You've limited my freedom. You've invaded my privacy and the people I've had to meet. And anyone I've met for the last 6 months, I have to give the police their phone numbers. They then ring them. It's like, are we in China?
Correct.
Like they moan about China, they moan about Russia, and then they pretend we have all this freedom, which we don't have anyway. We are a totalitarian state. Yeah, they have us under total lockdown and control. Just people believe this bullshit that we have got it. You try exercising it anyway and challenge any government narrative, any one of them. Yeah, they come down you like a ton of bricks from every angle. And that's what they've done against me. But we're going to get a win tomorrow. And even if we don't get a win tomorrow, we're still winning. We're awakening the public. More people are awake to their lies than ever. No one trusts the media, which brings a big smile to my face, yeah, like these stupid journalists. She still thought she had the power with the camera. Nah. She still didn't realise. I'm looking at her thinking, you're going to go viral, yeah?
That's a cameraman.
Where's our cameraman?
This guy blue hat. You wear?
He's with us.
Tommy, is that her bottle?
This is her bottle, yeah.
That could be a theft charge.
Souvenir.
Yeah, I'll get done for robbery. I'll probably get a dawn raid for robbery.
So I was surprised, actually, that the hearing went beyond the testimony of that officer. But then, regardless of that, whether or not the order was valid, the exemption to the order is work. And you were seen repeatedly in the video saying, I'm at work, I'm a journalist, and yet they proceeded with the dispersal order.
And the police officer said, I don't know if he said that. It's what I was saying. I was saying it the whole time, which is why they cut all the videos off. They've cut the videos off that show them attacking me, being violent with me, so then they can lie in their statements and say I was aggressive, which I wasn't. But yeah, the exemption, which I knew the exemption before I went, which is why I kept saying, no, I'm at work. Yeah, I'd read it before I went. I read the police made a statement the day before about the importance of journalism, the importance of freedom of the press, and then they come and done that. So because they still think that they think in today's digital world that they still have control, yeah? Because the media had total control for decades and decades and decades, because we didn't have social media, we didn't have the internet. They could tell everyone how to think about and who to think it about, yeah? That went with social media. Then they brought in censorship to destroy us all, so then they could censor us. Elon Musk has given us back our voice, yeah? So this Sky News reporter, I wouldn't have been able to humiliate her today without X, without my social media platform. That she would have been able to put together her story, all the mainstream would be able to put together their lies, because usually all of these citizen journalists would have still been censored. Everyone's demonetised, who's here probably on YouTube. Everyone's silenced, can't talk about vaccine, can't talk about this. But on X we have freedom of speech. So it's great to have a platform where we can share the truth and we can embarrass them, and tomorrow that's what we're going to come here and do on St. George's Day.
Which is really
You coming?
I am.
Yep, so, cool. Right, thanks everyone.
See you in a bit now.
Take it easy, people.
I think he's not going in till 11:30. I've just heard. So, let you know.
What we're doing today is day 2 of Tommy Robinson trial. Now, day 1 we realised and we've noticed that the restrictions that were given by the Metropolitan Police to remove Tommy from the area wasn't lawful for many reasons, but mainly because it was ordered an hour after he got arrested. But the second one was because he's a journalist. Now, as a citizen journalist, he's exempt from any type of restrictions, and it doesn't matter if Gideon wants him not to be there because of this, that and the other. He's reporting a event. So as a journalist, he's only there to report. So day 2 anyway, we're supposed to be at 10:30 for some type of summary judgment. Funnily enough, 10:30 comes around and the judge says he's going to be another hour, 11:30, before he even makes a summary judgment. I don't know what judgment he's going to make because the police officer has said that the restrictions that he put in place wasn't put in place until an hour after he was arrested. The police officer said he did make a mistake. The police officer has said that mistake's part of dyslexia and things like that. So there is a mistake on the orders that have been put in place, so therefore it's unlawful. If you don't want to say that's unlawful, he's a journalist and he should be allowed to report on anything. If other people don't like his presence being there because he's there to speak the truth, then it's down to the police officers of the Metropolitan Police Service to then say to the people who don't want a journalist there, we live in a free country, we have free press, this is what's going to happen. So we're waiting here now, it's 11:30, he should be in court. The next few minutes, hopefully we'll get somebody coming out with a statement for us. If not, the trial continues.
I am here representing Clelly in Wales to support Tommy because I think he's right in everything he says and he does, and there's quite a few of us that have come up and we've looked forward to it, and hopefully now he'll be out soon and then we can just, you know, cheer and, you know, whatever we got to do. But we've been to Telford from Wales as well. We're trying to support him as much as possible. Same as like the Voice of Wales as trying to support us in Clelly, which they have done. Tommy's been down to see us in Clelly, giving his support to us. So we're just repaying the favour, that's all. So we're here supporting, obviously, Tommy and all the protesters and people of Clelly who have had to fight to keep illegals out of the Stradley Park Hotel in Clelly. And yeah, it's going to be a good day, very good day.
For the launching this one, then now I distribute to everyone, and then it's all gone. Then now, put in my head.
Her name's Lisa Sargent.
And Lisa, thanks very much for the burgers.
Oh, Abby.
You got happy customer. You have to say thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's see, cheers, see you later.
No case to answer. Come on, Tommy. First case he's won. No case he's won.
Been chucked out.
He's won. First case he's won. On St George's Day. Fantastic.
He's free man.
He's beat the system.
Where's Tommy now? Where is he?
Yay.
He's not Tom. He's coming up. You got There's Derek.
Justice prevails at last.
He's going to be a Prime Minister.
Right, let's not go crazy.
I'll start at the beginning, yeah? I'm not used to winning. On the 26th of November, when I went to work to report as a journalist, I was violently attacked by the Metropolitan Police Force. Everyone watched it, yeah? The Crown Prosecution Service are supposed to be independent. They're supposed to assess the evidence. The evidence which everyone watched was that the police come in. I tried to tell them I'm a journalist, I'm at work, which they know anyway. They removed me forcefully. They pepper sprayed me at point blank range. Yeah, they lied throughout every one of their statements. How many officers were there that day? 20 officers. None of them have got their body cam footage. We heard their evidence. Mine come off in the incident. It was lost. Mine was recorded over. I had someone else's camera that day. They proved themselves as liars time and time again. The fact that the point I want people to understand is I've just said I've won, yeah? Have we won? Do we have freedom? For the last 6 months, I've been banned from entering my capital city. Whilst jihadists have took over our capital city week in, week out, with the grace of the police allowing them to, I've had my restrictions, my right to a family life. I even went to court to ask if I could take my children to the Christmas lights turn on, and I was refused that opportunity. For the last 6 months, I've had to go to a Muslim police officer and ask permission to come into my own capital city, of which one of the meetings was to interview a member of parliament. That Muslim police officer refused that request. That is a police state. That is not freedom. The judge today stood on the side of truth. I've been in these politicised buildings too many times. This is the 8th time, I think the 8th time I've been in court on this offence, at a cost of £60,000. This is about lawfare. The process is the punishment. You may come here and get a victory, but they've had the victory because they've controlled any opposition to Hamas on the streets of our country by banning me for 6 months, okay? That's what they've done. They've also, the toll, the emotional toll, the stress, the pressure, the thought of going to prison time and time again is part, as I said, the process is the punishment. The police officers stood and gave evidence. He actually told the truth. What's turned out today is there was no lawful order. My arrest was unlawful. The pepper spraying in my face was unlawful. Their bail conditions given by a judge. We went before a judge here twice. We appealed the conditions twice to say there is no evidence against me. How am I banned from my capital city for 6 months? It has to be, those bail conditions have to be proportionate. It's not proportionate. I wasn't allowed inside the M25 for 6 months. I'm still frustrated with it. They've limited my ability for my activism, for my work, for my journalism. They have invaded the privacy. Anyone I wanted to meet for my journalism, I had to give the police, the British police, their phone numbers. They then rang them. I had to tell them the times I'm meeting them, where I'm meeting them. For the last 6 months, that should not be allowed. Freedom of the press has been under attack. Freedom of speech has been under attack. My freedom of assembly, all these things have been taken from me, from the British state. Today they've been given back to me. I'm now allowed into London. What's been ruled on is that the arrest was unlawful, pepper spraying was unlawful. They arrested me on my daughter's birthday. Yeah? On my daughter's birthday, that's now unlawful. Their bail conditions are unlawful. This is the first time I've been freely allowed into my capital city.
Happy St. George's Day!
Happy St. George's Day!
And it's on St. George's Day, but what I would have to say is this would not have happened today if it wasn't for the people who supported this campaign. As this was going on, I've made a film, yeah? You're going to see the promo today. I'm going to ask all of you, if you've marched with me before, march with me again on the 1st of June. We're marching through this capital city against two-tier policing, demanding the resignation of Mark Rowley. The British public have had enough of your actions, and I will premiere my new film, Lawfare, A Totalitarian State. It's going to be a fabulous documentary. We are going to humiliate the British state. You're going to understand that your freedom's already gone, yeah? And we need to fight for it and get it back.
Can I say one thing? The one thing I'd like to say, first of all, there's two things actually. Firstly, is to everybody out there, you don't need to like Tommy, you don't need to agree with Tommy, and you can hate me all you want, but because of you, because of your eyeballs, because of your support, because you took the time and trouble and energy and effort to keep supporting this man, because of you, he gets to be a free man today because you've kept the pressure on, otherwise they would hide their lies. The second thing that I think is really important on St. George's Day is that the people should know, no matter what they do to Tommy Robinson will never, ever lie down. He will never, ever give up. He will always have you. And the final thing I promise to say, and I'll hand this all back to the man that matters, is that you have been made to feel over the last decade or so that you are alone. I am here to tell you, to remind Tommy every day, like the pain in the ass that I am, that you are not alone, my darlings. Tommy will stick with you. I will stick with you. You are not alone. We are many, and we are stronger together. God bless Tommy Robinson. God bless St. George's Day. Go on, you English people.
And God bless Katie Hopkins.
My pleasure.
Can I play some of your voice notes?
Charlie, what's next?
What's next? I need to make sure, if you're looking at this and you're one of the people who supported this campaign, my legal team, which is Carson Kay, Tana, my solicitor, was absolutely fabulous. They fought for me at every avenue. I would have been remanded in prison on my daughter's birthday if you hadn't sent that King's Counsel to that court who had me released. Not just that, this victory wouldn't have happened today if you hadn't supported that campaign. So I want to say a personal thank you. You give me I know I've got the backing. We've had Alistair Williamson was the King's Counsel, absolutely amazing. Anyone who watched him, what was he like? He was quality. Carson Kay, but again, 4 steps ahead of everything. He humiliated them, but you made that possible. So I want to say a personal thank you to every one of you who sit at home. If you think everyone's got a role to play, just share the video, share the content. Do you know the biggest role which has come out of this yesterday is citizen journalism. Citizen journalism, not the mainstream. The judge just threatened us about intimidating the Sky News journalists. We weren't intimidating her.
Oh, I thought I was intimidating you.
Yeah, I know. That's what it was. But citizen journalists come to this court yesterday. We had Rebel Media, we had Tusi, we had Voice of Wales, we had we had everyone who's anyone in citizen journalism sat in that court and reported to the public, word in, word out. Last night I saw a headline from the BBC that I never thought I'd see. I read their news article and it was fair, it was balanced, it didn't call me former leader at EDL, it didn't talk about criminal convictions, it spoke about what happened in court, and that pressure was only put on by citizen journalists coming here, and all these people have a massive following now.
Do you still have hope? Do you have hope for England?
I have hope. I have hope, not hate.
You are hope.
I have hope, not hate following us everywhere.
You are hope.
I do have hope, and I have hope after today's decision, but I would like to ask everyone to join me on June the 1st in London. Yeah,
June the 1st.
Make sure you put that date in your calendar. Check it out. Make sure you put that date in your calendar. Again, I want to say a thank you. It is a victory. It's a total victory. It's not just a victory. How have they been allowed to do this? That's the question that have to be asked. How can they walk in off the street in front of the world's media? Where were the politicians? Have you had any politicians speak up about what happened that day? Are any politicians going to speak up today about the ruling? About the ruling?
Well done, Tommy Robinson, everybody! Well done, Tommy!
It's St. George's Day. I don't want to turn up. I don't want to turn up wearing this. I'm going to get changed. Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
So a lovely thing today in court that Tommy has been, well, not that he had anything to answer to actually, but that in fact he's now free to go into his own capital city. But much more than that, today was such a big moment for our side, because when we're together it's such a lovely thing. Lovely people trying to make the best of it, sticking together, and he is just unrelenting, and that's what I think is so reassuring. No matter what they do to him, the process is the punishment. They can persecute him all they want, but he won't lie down. So this is a great St. George's Day, and just a massive thank you to every ordinary person out there who just wants everyone to be as free as they can be and as happy as they can be. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Remember, in 2018, I sat in jail for 11 weeks, and then I got to challenge that, and it was proven everything they'd done then was illegal and unlawful, but they continue to act unlawfully. So I'm happy that it's been proven what they've done they shouldn't have been able to do. It's a scary thing if the police can just come up and when someone's having a breakfast and not just detain them but attack them violently. My my freedoms, my freedom of the press was taken, my freedom of assembly has been taken, my freedom of speech. I've been banned from my capital city for 6 months. I think it's an absolute liberty what's happened, and it's a liberty that not enough people have spoke up. I'm so glad we found a judge today that stood on the side of the truth. But someone should, well, Mark Rowley should resign straight off anyway for his actions.
And probably a stupid question, but have any of the kind of freedom of speech or sort of liberty organisations supported you, or human rights organisations?
Never, ever. Even when I've been in jail on solitary, when I was in jail on solitary confinement, I was there for 22 weeks, yeah.
No bail marsh, yeah.
And it's again, no, not bail marsh. This
Okay.
is in 2011.
Oh, okay.
My family were ringing.
Which prison was that?
That was they took me from Wandsworth block to Bedford block, from Bedford block to Woodhill block to Wandsworth block, and Wandsworth block to Wayland block. Yeah. They're not allowed to keep you on solitary confinement, so what they've done to try and get around it is bring me from one to another. Yeah. Now, when my family were contacting human rights lawyers and all these organisations, saying he's been on solitary confinement, not saying who I am, they all say, oh, they can't do that, they can't do that. Okay. His name's Tommy Robinson, he's leader of the English Defence League. Boom, they all step back. So even these groups who are supposed to defend freedom are politicised. Yeah. Just defend everyone's freedom, no matter what. So the media have portrayed me as this person I'm not anyway, this image. I'm so glad now I've seen a massive shift in the last 12 months. So many people realise we're telling the truth. So, and we're not full of hate. Yeah, we're just concerned British citizens who are fed up with what's happening to this country.
And it was thrown out today. Was it on the technicality? Was it on the court order being on the wrong date? Or?
It wasn't a wrong date. He edited it. He edited it because they didn't even have an order. Yeah. So his order started at 2 o'clock. They nicked me at 1 o'clock. So then he went in at 4 o'clock and changed the time to 10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And then the one they produced us was the one that said 10 o'clock in the morning, but dated on the 24th. Yeah. He went in and edited. And not just that, one of the reasons they can't.
Have you got proof of that?
Yeah, that came out court. He admitted it.
Okay, because we sat there
he
this morning and then there was like a minute. And
no, he admitted it yesterday. He admitted it.
We weren't here
He accepted
yesterday.
it. He admitted it. He was very honest. And he admitted that in his statement it said the Home Office guidance, yeah? So they said, have you read the Home Office guidance? He said, no. He said, in your statement you quote the Home Office guidance? He said, yeah, I've never read the Home Office guidance. He goes, I just copy and pasted what I was told by my senior to put in my statement. That's what he said yesterday. So they attempted to close ranks. 20 police officers were there. They all lost their body cam footage. There's no body cam footage. There's none, yeah? They tried to stitch me up. They tried to get me in court. The process is the punishment. This cost £60,000. They're not giving me no money back. So they win anyway. So yeah. Can I ask you, did you witness what happened that day?
No.
No, you haven't seen the video?
No.
Don't you think if you're going to come and report on this case, you should have watched the video? Basics, man. Come on.
Well, we weren't there that day. We can't work every single day. Can we do this reporting? Mr. Lennon?
Yeah, sorry, 1 second. Where's Aidan? Yeah, sorry, mate.
So later today, I heard there's a march going on in Whitehall. Are you planning to be there?
I just want to clarify one more thing again. You're from the Press Association. You've come here to report on this trial.
Yes.
But you've never watched the video. You don't know what they've done.
We can't work every day, obviously, can we?
But you're going to report on this, right? So you was going to.
We have a reporter inside who's reporting the trial. I'm just gathering comment outside. So I'm just gathering comment from you.
Okay.
It will then be reported by a reporter inside.
Okay. What's the comment? What's the question again?
So I was just asking, what's going on inside the trial? Can I just get your comment on that?
What went on inside the trial is found that the police officers acted unlawfully. My arrest was unlawful. They violently attacked me, and today they were forced to, or the judge dismissed the case as no evidence because there was no evidence that I broke any laws. Everyone knows that who watched the video. I was attacked and I was at work. So you're a journalist, yeah? So what the legislation says that they cannot. I work as a journalist. I get paid as a journalist. I have a contract as a journalist. The legislation says that they cannot issue a dispersal order to someone who's at work. So they failed on 5 different counts. But yeah.
Okay, and so later today there's going to be a march in Westminster, I believe.
Is there?
Are you going to be going?
I'm going to go now and go into London, yeah. But,
okay.
I don't know if there is a march, is there?
I believe that's.
I believe there's a demonstration in Westminster. I don't know if it's a march. I don't really know.
Or a demonstration, yeah, a demonstration.
Okay, yeah.
So are you going to be in attendance with that?
I'm going to go into central London, but I'm going to be leaving pretty sharpish because I've got my family waiting for me. So.
Okay, and I just wondered, do you have any message to your supporters there? Obviously, I presume you'd want it to be peaceful.
For what?
Well, there's been altercations with the police before from people who support you and support your
that's why you're here. Okay, now I get it. That's why you're here. Why didn't you just come out of it at the start?
I was at the last one, the police attacked us.
Yeah.
I got video footage.
Okay, no, all I'm asking is, would you have any message for your supporters?
I'd have a message not for my supporters, I'd have a message from Mark Rowley and his police force. Stop attacking patriots, stop attacking nationalists, stop drawing your batons on them, and stop running away from Hamas. Hamas and all the jihadists. Yeah, treat us the same way you treat every other community. Treat working class English men exactly the same, but they don't. So I can't be confident that there won't be scenes today because the police are aggressive. They treat us very differently. They provoke reactions. On the day what's just been dismissed, I was pepper sprayed from point blank range whilst I was handcuffed. Yeah, would they have done that to a Muslim? Would they have done it to a black person on camera?
No.
They wouldn't have. Yeah, they would not have done it. They would not have treated them in that such a disrespectful manner. So my message isn't for my supporters, because my supporters act accordingly each time. Yeah, stop attacking us. Yeah, leave us alone. If we want to have a protest, give us our rights and our freedoms the same as everyone else. Yeah, Mark Rowley should resign. He's lost total faith in the whole British public.
But you do have a lot of supporters, you have a lot of influence.
Mate, it's St George's Day. No one's coming out. Everyone's coming out to celebrate. Yeah.
But you want it to be. You want this to be peaceful.
I want everything to be peaceful. Every time I want it to be peaceful. It's a bit hard to have things peaceful when you have jihadists or Hamas or just terrorist organisations who are sharing your space with you, yeah, who actually want to kill you. So it's pretty hard sometimes, but yeah, I want today to be totally peaceful, of course. I want every day to be peaceful. I want English people to be able to celebrate their identity and show pride in who they are without provocation from the police. Yeah? That's what I'd love to see.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, man. Thanks. Sorry if I feel like I'm giving you a hard time.
No, I'm just doing my job.
No worries, man.
I'll try to. Tommy. Is it a kick-off later?
What's that?
Is it a kick-off later?
I hope not.
What would it do?
Yeah, it could.
Fucking stupid question. Right, no. Fucking result, bro.
Well done, Tommy.
Take him to the police.